So Weaponmaster has been out for about a week now, and people are seeing that some weapon combos are way better than others, and some classes are just a lot better with Weaponmaster now that it's been out for a while. So in order to see which classes are doing well with it and which ones aren't doing that well, I decided to go ahead and play with every new weapon on all the specs. So for today, we'll be taking a look at the Warrior in PvP and Worldy World. I won't be going too in depth into the builds that I used. Those will be separate videos for later if you guys want them. I'll instead be going over my thoughts on how each weapon changes and affects how that spec is played. So starting us off is the Berserker. I tried out Dagger on it first, and Dagger wasn't really that impressive to me. I don't think anyone is surprised by this. I feel like Dagger was never really good for PvP. Offhand just isn't ideal for what you need. 4 and 5 don't really do that much. There's better things like shield. As you could probably guess, the sustain was not good. You died way too easily and the damage was very avoidable. I also feel like running it in the main hand was not that viable, as the burst on Dagger isn't really that good by itself. I mean, you can stun someone into a Dagger Burst, but it's more AoE focused, whereas I feel like in PvP you're going to be wanting to take down that one target at a time. While that certainly did sound grim, you know, me just tearing Dagger apart, there is a silver lining to this in Offhand Pistol. Now, Offhand Pistol, I feel, is great on Berserker. You have access to Aegis and multi-hits, which means that on Berserker, you're able to multi-hit before your big Berserk ability. Abilities like Axe or Greatsword Burst, which will usually get blocked by Aegis or Blindness. Now you have Offhand Pistol, which does multi-hits and actually does some really good damage while you're in Berserk mode. And it allows you to just set up for your burst a lot easier now. Pistol 4 to get Aegis, use Pistol 5 to get rid of Blindness, and if they try to apply that or CC while that's happening, you have Aegis on, so now you're able to burst them down with your Axe Burst or Greatsword Burst. That right there is some great synergy that I feel like, while it may not be the best option on Berserker, it really is fun and it actually is pretty viable. Another thing to mention is that because Pistol 5 has a multi-hit, you're able to build up adrenaline a lot faster, because Warrior in general doesn't really have that many multi-hits, especially on the offhand. There is offhand Axe 5, but that locks you into a spinning animation that you have to be hitting to get any adrenaline from, whereas Pistol 5, you just press it, it knocks you back a little bit, and you're just able to get that damage out while simultaneously being able to do another action. Our next spec will be the Spellbreaker. Now, Offhand Torch on Spellbreaker, it's alright. I feel like Offhand Torch as a weapon just in general, as we're gonna see, isn't that good. There's not really many things that it offers that you would want that like you can't get from shield or even pistol now. So it's like, unless you're running a Condi build, Offhand Torch just really isn't that viable. I guess in a power build, having the fire aura on Torch 5 means that you get more might and do a bit more damage. I mean, the damage is not that bad when you pair it with a main hand Dagger. Run it on a Condi build and it's alright, but there's already a Spellbreaker Condi build that runs shield that is much better. So I feel like Offhand Torch just really isn't it. Now for Offhand Pistol, I feel like this actually is pretty good on Spellbreaker. It adds more damage to your kit, which is always really nice. Having multi-hits means that you get more adrenaline, which means more full counters, and that equals to more burst hits, more damage. It also provides a pretty nice damage alternative by giving up shield, and overall I think it's just great. If you like Offhand Pistol or you have like a nice skin for it, you can definitely run it instead of shield and I think you'll do fine. Our last spec is going to be the Bladesworn. Now on Bladesworn, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna save your time. Do not run dual wield daggers and do not run Offhand Torch. They're both trash. No builds are gonna work with them. Maybe in the future, but right now, no, they're just not good. Don't run them. With that out of the way, let's talk about the one good thing. Main hand Dagger. Main hand Dagger on Bladesworn, oh my gosh, it felt so good. It felt so fun to play. I played with a main hand Dagger and an offhand shield, and I was able to just stun and daze my opponents with Dragon Slash, Dagger 3, and Shield 4, as well with Bull's Charge. My opponent was just locked down, getting hit by every Dragon Slash, doing so much damage to them they couldn't clap back. You also have the Daze on Gunsaber 3 as well, I totally forgot to mention. While it may not be like the meta, it's a really fun build that I would recommend any warrior main to just go out and try, because it's really easy to make. You just run a full power build with Marauders or Berserkers if that's your choice, and you just go out there and slap. On Core Warrior, it's not really worth it to run any of these. Like, don't play Core Warrior. The extra bar of adrenaline on Dagger Burst is all you're getting out of Core Warrior, and all that does is remove one extra boon, and in order to do that, you have to give up full counter, gun saber, and berserk mode. Definitely not worth it at all. Core Warrior didn't really get much out of this. If you like Core Warrior, then good for you, but even unlock Weaponmaster in Worldly World, you have to own the expansion. If you own that expansion, then you probably own the others, so don't play Core Warrior. So overall, on Warrior, Weaponmaster was alright for it. They only really got 3 offhands and 1 main hand, the 1 main hand being actually really good with main hand Dagger, and only 1 offhand really being that good for PvP, which was offhand Pistol for all the specs. Other than that though, the other 2, offhand Dagger, offhand Torch, not really that good in PvP, not really that viable. You don't want to run these. I will say, however, that the weapon setup of main hand sword and offhand pistol mixed with the warrior's sprint trait actually is a really good set for any spec of warrior that is wanting to play a more like mobile playstyle. With that combination, you're able to actually break immobilization on sword 2, pistol 4, and pistol 5 while still maintaining a pretty nice weapon set. Let me know down below what you think of Weaponmaster on the warrior and how viable you think it really is, how much it really changed up the game for warrior. I know this video will get a lot of comments because it is a warrior video, and warrior mains usually have a lot to say. I mean that in the nicest way possible. I love playing warrior, but you guys love this class so much, so props to you. I would ask you guys to leave me a comment sharing your builds and what weapons that you've been running, but a lot of you already do that, and warrior mains, you're definitely going to do that. So I'm excited to see what kind of builds you guys are coming up with, what weapons you're running, what specs. And yeah guys, I think Weaponmaster has been great so far, super fun. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more Weaponmaster videos on the other classes, let me know by leaving a like and a sub, as it helps me out a ton. That being said, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.